Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, day 750 of What's She Up To Now, also known as Pajama Grandma. Actually, these are kind of cool pajamas. They're super duper soft and warm and fuzzy, and they have little feathers all over them. And of course, my favorite color, peach or coral, and some blues and some white, so they're just kind of fun. But they got me to thinking about the expression, fix your wagon. And so I looked it up, and I did it in my Supersize Your Business page today, and I realized that I had the meaning of fix your wagon totally wrong in terms of what it means as an idiom. As an idiom, it means to get even with somebody, or to thwart or frustrate them, or to cause him or her to fail at something. To actually, it often means to plot against somebody, to plot their demise or failure, or to undermine, I gotta say undermine them, or to have something bad, or to do something bad to them. I mean, and so to me, the meaning is like revenge or something. And I'm like, okay, that's not what I thought. I thought fix your wagon had more to do with, okay, if your wagon breaks down, you need to fix it, or you're going to be stuck in one place. And until you fix or change the thing that's broken, you just are going to stay in your same place, kind of spinning your wheels. Of course, the expression comes from the American 1800s, when there was the westward migration. People were moving out west, and they were traveling by covered wagon because that was the mode of transportation at the time, or the main mode of transportation if you were going to move materials. You know, it's before the invention of automobiles and trucks and cars and all the things that we see nowadays. But I really believe that you know, fix your wagon meant, hey, take care of your own stuff. And I'm going to contend that that's a healthier definition than the meaning of the idiom to get revenge, or to hurt someone else, or to cause somebody else to fail. Although I guess I've experienced both sides of that in my lifetime and in my career. You know, people think that it's up to them to judge other people and to cause harm to them. I've been in relationships, and I've mainly watched. I haven't necessarily experienced as much, mainly because I choose not to participate, but friends, I call them frenemies, that people that act like they're your friends, but they're really just befriending you in order to find out how they can undermine you and take you out of a situation, take your boyfriend, take you out of a social group or whatever. I've seen that happen in relationships and friendships. I've seen it happen at work. Oh my gosh, in corporate America. I saw a little bit of that behavior in some of my businesses that I've owned, and I just nipped them in the bud. It's totally, to me, unacceptable to find ways to negatively impact and hurt other people. So in my businesses, it doesn't happen. And if it does, there are massive ramifications and changes that incur, or you're out of here. I haven't seen that in any of my businesses or companies for a really long time, because it's just not the type of people that we attract, that we work with. But to fix your wagon in a negative way, I think of corporate America. In corporate America, we had department head meetings, and all the departments were expected to work together, right? That's the expectation of our CEOs and presidents. But a lot of the things that were set up, a lot of the systems and structures were set up to make us not necessarily work together, and to make us compete against one another. Remember one job, we actually, our vice president encouraged us to be competitive with one another. We would compete with one another in our department's results, you know, and he'd have contests every month for results of how our departments performed, which, you know, depending on your team and what was going on and what your schedule was, would determine if you could win these contests or not. And although he did it to foster healthy competition, for some of us it was healthy competition, for others it wasn't so healthy competition, right? It's like the whole budgeting process that a lot of organizations and corporations go through. They say, okay, submit your budget for the year, and you know, kind of like government budgeting, departments and municipalities will expand and ask for the world, knowing that they're not going to get a whole lot of it. And so there was a lot of antisocial and negative behavior that would happen around budget time, with people trying to get a bigger piece of the pie for themselves and for their department, and they would do things to undermine other department heads and their department's budgets. And yeah, it's really interesting to watch the dynamics and behavior within organizations. And most of us get sucked into it. You know, it's like me and my ex-husband. I get sucked into fighting with him no matter what. almost no one else on the planet can push my buttons and trigger me like he can, but it was the same thing in corporate America. There were certain behaviors and certain people that would just trigger you, right? And there'd be this weird dynamics and behavior amongst department heads that was, you know, it was really dysfunctional and negative because people were vying for limited resources. People wanted a position. They wanted more power. They wanted more money, more dollars for their budgets, or whatever the reason was. And in order to get that, they felt like they had to compete and therefore take out other people, other department heads, other friends. I don't know if you've ever had somebody want your significant other, and so they have to find ways to take you out. Been there, done that, right? Or I haven't done it, but I've had it happen to me, where somebody wanted my husband. You can have him, smell you later. That's really funny. So it's really an interesting saying. And I think it's interesting that I totally didn't even think about fixing your wagon as getting revenge or you know, undermining other people or trying to cause someone else to fail. I always thought of it as, hey, if something's broken, I better fix it, which I suppose is probably a healthier, for me as an individual, and healthier response to businesses and growing in competition as well. So would love to know what you think of the expression, fix your wagon, what your experience has been with it. I know people that have huge frenemy challenges and social challenges, people that have business challenges with other people trying to undermine and hurt them. And I'm like, all right, I guess that is a definition of fix your wagon. So opened my eyes, learned a lot from this one today. The fun challenge, the 365-day fun challenge today was all about if you could live in any imaginary place, where would it be and why? And that one was fun for me because I hang out with my 4-year-old granddaughter, and when she was 2 or so, or 3, when she really started to be able to talk, she started talking about this place called Moon Mountain, where Flower Princess lives, and she's got unicorns and magic and all these amazing things. And there's bad guys there, but we don't like them. And how we have magic that keeps and all these things. But she's created this elaborate magical place, and so that would be the place that I would want to live with her, you know, and with her, because she's created this out of her incredible imagination. And I just think it's so fun when she'll start talking about the waterfall of dreams and where dreams come true and things like that. And who doesn't get a kick out of that? Who doesn't be delighted by the childlike wonder and imagination? And, you know, it makes me go back to the time and wonder, when did all of my fun and adventure and imagination and excitement and curiosity get beat out of me? Because I've gotten pretty boring, and I don't necessarily want to stay boring for the rest of my life. That's part of why I'm doing the fun challenge in the first place. I have set a date for my next challenge. It will be March 23rd, and I'm thinking I'm going to call it the Live Challenge Workshop. I know that's not a great name, but I'm evolving and figuring out what is it or what it should be. So that name might change in the next couple of days, but I am putting my foot down for myself and saying, yep, March 23rd is my next challenge. And of course, it's a challenge to teach other people how to use the power of challenges to bring the right people to them, to their business, and bring them into the world. And I'm targeting it, and I'm changing my targeting, which is, you know, they say don't change your targeting, but I am, because I've thought for like the last year or so, a little over a year, that I would focus on working with women, and I would help women business owners. And I have found that I like the idea of it, but as far as the implementation of it and the execution of it, I hold myself back. And I honestly believe it's because I have spent my entire life and my entire career and most of my education surrounded predominantly by men. And so I'm more comfortable, and I'm better at, and more direct and more curt, and I have thicker skin, I think, than most women do and can tolerate and will put up with. And I've developed that through battle-worn, lots of bad experiences, but it's now a part of who I am. I guess I was probably always a lot that way, even as a little kid. I would be the one that approached all the other little new kids in the neighborhood and asked them if they were friendly. And if they were friendly, they could come play with us. And if they said they weren't friendly, then I'd chase them away. I guess I've probably always been a little bit like that. But I'm finding that women aren't necessarily my ideal customers, my ideal target audience. I'm looking for business owners, people that already own their business, and they're looking to really grow it and set it up for whatever amount of growth and scaling they want. I call it supersizing your business. I picked the name Supersize Your Business, gosh, probably 20 years ago. For some reason, Supersize Your Business came to me and stuck in my head. And some of my coaches along the way, Robert Allen, Mark Victor Hansen, who else did I talk to about Supersize Your Business? And they're like, yeah, that's really it. That's a good name. What are you going to do with it? And so I sat on it for a decade or so. And just in the last couple of years, I've kind of pulled it out of the box and said, this is the kind of thing that I want to teach people and help them do. Because I've worked in really giant, multi-billion-dollar organizations in the quality function. And the cool thing about the quality function as an executive in those organizations is you get to stick your nose and your fingers in everybody else's business. You get to see and understand and orchestrate and help them to define their processes and how they do things in each of the different departments and functions of a business. And it gives you a very unique big picture perspective of the framework and the foundation that you need to set up to make your business work. And I've done that for big companies. I've done that for medium-sized companies. I've done that for family-owned businesses. I've done that for all different types of businesses and industries, is map out the structure and the foundation of what works and what doesn't. And there's key things you have to create a successful business. Now, I'm not talking about just a successful online business. That's what all the other gurus and all the people online will talk about. And they'll make it sound like sales and marketing is 90% of your business, and the other 10%, you can just automate all of that and you don't really have to be involved in any of it. And my experience has been just the opposite. My personal experience in corporate America has been, yep, sales is an important function, but guess what? So is production and delivery of the products and services that you're providing for people, right? And so I have a much larger emphasis on putting systems in place to make sure that the quality of the deliverables and the experience that your customers have is like no other, is second to none, so that they will always be lifelong customers for you and they will always be coming back to you and your organization. And if you don't do that, you're constantly chasing new customers and new leads. That's why there is so much information and so much publicity for, get 5 new leads or getting people and so many people selling people the marketing and sales function for their business online. Especially, everybody's always chasing new customers and new leads. And the truth is that you don't have to do that. If you've got your business, your expertise, your processes and procedures and systems in place, yep, you're adding people, but you're adding people at a pace that makes sense, and you're serving them, and they're joining you, and they're staying for the rest of their life. They're not leaving after they get their quick solution to their problem, which is very different. It's a very different approach than a lot of what's being sold to people online, what's being shared by the experts and the gurus. It's like, yep, if you just get your marketing and sales in place, everything else will take care of itself. And that is an absolute, complete, and utter crapshoot. It's not true. It's the biggest lie, and it's part of why so many people struggle online, or as they take their offline business online, as they're trying to grow and develop it. It's because they're only being told little parts of what they really need in order to be successful. So my challenge is all about how do you set up and structure that and be successful. But you bring people into your world through doing a challenge, and then you show them and teach them through your offering or your products or your services or the problems that you solve for them, and then you make sure that you're bringing them in and they're having an incredible experience, and that they want to do business with you over and over and over again. So you're not always chasing your tail and chasing after new people all the time. And yep, there's always new people being born, but boy, that's a lot of work. It's a lot of work and a lot of energy. And is your business because you want to be in sales and marketing and chasing new people all the time, or did you create your business for another reason? Did you really create your business to solve a problem for a certain group of people? That's why I created mine. All the different businesses that I've had, they were all, some of them weren't, let's be honest. I mean, how big a problem is Italian food? What's for dinner? Well, Italian food. Well, that, and how many hundreds of millions of other options are there for what you're going to eat and feed yourself? But I was in that business for a really long time, and it taught me the importance of systems and processes and procedures and consistency so that people were getting what they expected from you, and there were almost no ways to fail as things went through that whole system of your business, from order to delivery, because there's a lot more that goes into it than just selling. Actually, in my Italian food business, we spent the least amount of resources and time and energy on actually selling and marketing the products. We did almost nothing. And I'm sure experts that would be listening to me right now would be like freaking out. How can you not advertise? How can you not be doing this? But we didn't. Our entire business was based on word of mouth, and people actually had to apply to have us provide our products and services to them. Restaurant chains and grocery stores had to go through a process and an interview with me in order to decide if we would actually take them on as a customer or not, which is a totally different approach than most businesses use, right? Most businesses believe that you just need to sell to everybody, everything, and everybody is, if they've got a pulse, they should be your customer. So not true. So, new challenge, March 23rd, and I guess that was a convoluted way of discussing a little bit more about what I do. And I've got so much going on today. My brain's going woo, 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 woo. I'm not thinking about what's my one thing. I usually try to pick one main thing and objective that I have to get done each day. And today, I've got a lot of them. I've got more than one thing. I've got some interviews. I've got to be on a group call and some other things like that, which I love. I love days like this. And my amazing little 4-year-old granddaughter will be here any minute. So I'm going to say sayonara, goodbye. Have an absolutely awesome Monday, awesome day. If I can help you in any way, just ask in the comments below. And if I don't have the answer, I am here to serve you. I'm here to put you in touch with the person that can help you or that can help you find the answer. So often, all we need is just our one question answered. And I've really discovered that and found that out online as I've gone to the online world. It's so easy to get distracted that, and sometimes all you have to do is like ask somebody one question. You're like, oh, why didn't I see that? And it's really interesting. I'm not a good ask for help type person, but I did learn that it's an interesting phenomenon. The instant that I ask, within like 5 minutes, the answer to the problem that I've been having appears. Even if somebody doesn't give me the answer, and usually they don't, usually I figure it out before somebody can give it to me, but it's like I open up and I get rid of the blocks that I've had that has been preventing me from seeing the answer all along, which is really interesting. I think it's just the act of asking that allows us to be able to see the answer that was, a lot of times right in front of our face the whole time. All right, that's it. Have a great day. I will, of course, be with you tomorrow. Bye.